Hello everyone and welcome to Stan the Wine Man TV. I am your host, Stan Rattan, and this is the Blue Collar Wine Show where I help you spend your wine dollars wisely. That last blind tasting episode with the Petite Syrah, wow, totally surprised me that the least expensive one of the bunch came out on top. But that's cool. I like that sometimes. Aside from Petite Syrah, I'm very interested in trying to get more people to get back into Merlot. Now, a lot of people accuse Sideways, I think in 2004, of damaging Merlot sales because of what the character said in the movie about Merlot. But a lot of that had to do with the late 80s and early 90s. Merlot was really hot. I mean, like screaming hot. I can remember the days. And so a lot of producers were pumping out some seriously insipid and poor quality Merlots because they wanted to grab the market. You know, that's what you do. People are drinking Merlot, just pump it out. And back in those days, you know, the quality wasn't there, and that also, you know, got people to quit drinking Merlot. Merlot is such an awesome wine. It is so cool. They use it a lot for blending, and it's big time in Bordeaux. It's huge amount of plantings of Merlot in Bordeaux, and they use it, of course, to blend with Merlot, or with Cabernet Sauvignon and Cab Franc. But some of those right bank Bordeaux's are predominantly Merlot, especially in Pomerol and Saint-Emilion, but in Fronsac, you know, usually 100% Merlot. And they're fantastic wines. Yes, Merlot is a little bit softer, a little bit rounder. You know, it doesn't have the tannic structure of Cab, but it is such a good wine. Especially, and I've said this many times, it bears repeating, Merlot is the best in Washington State, Bordeaux, and Italy. They do a lot of Merlot in Italy as well. But we're going to taste 4 Merlot in a blind tasting format. And I think a couple are New World, a couple are Old World, and we're going to just go right at it. Number 1. Hey, you know, I always wonder about Merlot. I still get people commenting, I don't drink Merlot. Well, you know, why not? It is such a good wine. Now, it's true, you know, there are, you know, fruity examples of Merlot from California, you know, inexpensive, fruity versions. And, you know, maybe that's why, I don't know. But if you're a wine person, you just, you know, you try to find a niche for every wine, wouldn't you think? Color? Yeah, more in the, you know, purple category. Yeah, purple heading towards, yeah, the darker side. Definitely darker on this one. Let's see what we get on the nose. Number 1. I'm getting some plum and cherry notes, a little bit of blackberry as well. Even some tobacco notes coming through. Yeah, even a hit of cassis. But I love the plum and cherry notes on this one. Let's see what we get on the palate. This has some minerality, some really crushed rock thing on the finish. Nice, I get some really solid plum notes. I'm guessing this is Old World. I'm guessing number 1 is Old World. I'm getting some plum notes, some a little bit of dark cherry coming through. Tobacco notes on the mid palate into the finish. That crushed rock tells me, the minerality tells me it's Old World. Again, Cabernet Sauvignon, and this is what I was thinking about. Maybe it's because Merlot is just not something sexy to say, you know. Merlot, you could do that. Merlot, but you know, Cabernet Sauvignon sounds so solid. So solid, Merlot. Not so much. Who knows? You know, there's all kinds of reasons people do what they do. And Merlot got a bum rap, and because of that, it's still trying to get out of the hole as far as sales go. In my department, we do, Merlot does okay, but not anything near Cab or Chardonnay or even Zinfandel. So Merlot's still struggling. I think it's a little bit ahead of Syrah, which is, Syrah's another. We'll have to do a blind Syrah tasting for sure. This is a little closed, which tells me it might be an old world Bordeaux, because they do 100% Bordeaux in Merlot. I mean, they do 100% Merlot in Bordeaux. Come on, Stan, get it together. They do Bordeaux's at 100% Merlot. I talked about Fransac at the beginning. A little bit tight, good structure on this wine. This thing will blossom. I would give it another 5 years. But I like the structure. The minerality is really cool. If you're into that sort of old world sort of thing, the minerality on this is really nice. Yeah. Solid wine. Gotta get my pen out. Oh, there, excuse me. I forgot to put my pen on the table. Be right back. Just here in my coat. There we go. Got it. Got it. Okay. There we go. Let's move on. Number two. Lots of acres of Merlot planted in France, especially in Bordeaux, but it's going down into the Languedoc-Roussillon area. There's just, and Italy does quite, in fact, Massetto, which is Merlot, in Italy goes for a huge amount of money. I mean, like $700 a bottle. And then we talked about many times in the movie Sideways, Cheval Blanc, which predominantly Merlot was the wine that the main character was drinking in the burger joint with his burger. So we get on the nose. Color again. Into the purple-black region. Get on the nose here. Getting some licorice and plum. Dark cherries. Interesting little herbal component coming through on this one as well. Yeah, let's see what we get on the palate. Boy, those herbal notes come through. Dried herbs come through on this one big time. So I'm getting some really serious, nice, softer style plum notes, dark cherries. When we talk about Merlot being kind of a little bit on the softer side, this is a classic example of that. Now, I don't have a problem with that personally. I don't have a problem with that because you don't always need a big tannic wine. Sometimes it's nice to be able to grab something like a Merlot and just be able to enjoy it. And I do think, maybe this is contradictory to what a lot of people think, but I think this would be a great like stew wine. You have a nice stew, this would be great with that. Nice and fresh. The acidity is medium minus on this one. I'm even getting just a pinch of tobacco on the back end of this one. Entirely different wine. This number 2 has to be New World. I'm guessing 1 Old World, 2 New World. This one has nice structure at the very end of this wine. You get that kind of herbal component coming through. Not quite vegetal. I'd go more herbal. I'm wondering where that comes from. This one has a nice coolness on the mid palate. It's like cool, like fresh, cool. Don't know any other way to describe it. And then it finishes with that kind of cherry, tobacco notes. Yeah. Nice wine. I like this one a lot. There you go. Probably, you know, and this is a good point in a tasting like this where you're doing it blind. Old world wines, you gotta understand, are probably, depending on the vintage, might not be ready to drink yet. But as a wine guy, as a person that understands that, you grade them accordingly. You know exactly where they might be going. And it's something that I really take seriously. I mean, I don't want to say, well, this wine's closed up a little bit, so it's not a good wine. No, I realize with number one that it is not quite ready yet, but I scored it accordingly, knowing that it might get better in 4 or 5 years. If that makes any sense to you. Number 3. Get the bucket out of the way. Don't have much room here. Okay, I can tell this one's a dark bad boy here. Again, these wines are really dark. They're in that purple to purple-black category. Let's see what we get on the nose. I'm getting a more of a dark cherry blackberry, blackberry. A touch of funk, just a tiny, tiny hit of funk. And that would be a cool episode just to talk about funk. What does that mean when we mean funk? Well, not necessarily barnyardy, you know, but kind of close to that, but just a little bit different than, you know, you're not just getting all fruit. You're getting something different. So we call it funk. It's a little funky, but not in a bad way. A lot of licorice notes on this one. I'm getting the dark cherry and kind of a little bit of blackberry coming through. And there's an interesting little backdrop of cranberry. Or I'd say a kiss of cranberry. Let's see what we get on the palate. Now this is a cool wine. So you get that upfront dark cherry notes, a little bit of blackberry, and a little bit of black tea component coming through, which is, I think, is really cool. The tannins are soft, but there's a little bit of edge to them, and tobacco notes on the backside. This, by far, might be the most complex of the first two I tried. I like this wine. Now, I did eat a little bit of I had some leftover steak up in the fridge. I took a few bites knowing I was going to do this episode. Probably should have brought them down here. I might start bringing my ruffles. We do this thing at the office. We have the ruffle lights. They're just 3 ingredients: sea salt, something, potatoes, and something else. And they're really good for cleansing your palate. We use them a lot in the office. I work in a grocery store, so it's easy to get them. But I should bring those because they're really great palate cleansers. Again, this has a freshness to it on the palate. I like the structure on this wine. This doesn't smack of a soft, fruity Merlot. It has some other things going on. All right, on to the next one. It's always fun. These blend tastings are fun. Let me know if you want me to do more. I did the Petite Syrah one. It was a little bit longer, but that was fun to watch the results. Number 4. And then I have this idea. I'm not decided on where that comes from yet. Number 3. We're going to have to do number 4 to compare them. That might be Old World, number 3. Might be. Because I get a little, I didn't mention this, just a little bit of minerality. That could be that structure I'm talking about. That minerality that you get from Old World wines. Old World wines. So I'm guessing Old World, New World. Not sure about that one. So let's see what we get here on the color. Again, pretty dark. This one hedges towards more of a reddish color. Yeah. You can almost see through this one. Let's see what we get on the nose. Well, this is definitely plum, cherry, licorice, for sure. Yeah, let's see what we get on the palate. I'm going to go New World on this one. Nice, nice plushness on this one, but not over the top fruit. It's just nice. It's got plum, cherry, licorice, a little bit of tobacco on the finish. Good integration, good balance. This is like we'd say a 10 in the delicious category. Yeah, solid wine. You know, I drink Zinfandel when I want a fruit bomb. That's what I do. Now, not all Zinfandels are fruit bombs. I don't drink Merlot necessarily because they're fruit bombs. I like Merlot because it's a little softer. You know, sometimes you can just sit and drink it without food, but it goes well with food. In fact, there's some Merlot that you can actually do with spicy food because the tannic structure isn't solid. So, you know, you might, if you have something just on a little bit of the spicy side, not hugely spicy, this would be good with that. Yeah, good integration, good balance. Just a nice glass of wine right there. So compared to number, I'm thinking number 3 might be Old World. Okay, there you go. We have it. We have the lineup. Let's get it going here. They all did really well, by the way. There wasn't a bad one in the bunch. Sort of like the Petite Syrah. So there was not a bad one in the bunch. So in 4th place, or last place, let's just say 4th place, with a B, which is a great grade for a bottle of wine, I said number 1 was Old World. Okay, there you go. This is a 2016 Clos de Pavillon, Saint-Emilion, Bordeaux. This one's in at $17. It's 100% Merlot. Thought it was a good wine. The minerality on this one was obvious, and so I pegged it as an Old World wine, and I was absolutely right. So with a B, that's a great grade. Now, in 3rd place with a B+, and I guess this one is a New World wine. The fruit was there. I thought they had good structure. B+, great grade. The 2021 Janik Merlot Red Mountain. Red Mountain, one of my favorite appellations in Washington State. This rolls in at $38. So, not cheap, but very good. B+. There you go. 3rd place. In 2nd place with an A-A. So I really thought this was a great wine. I thought this one needed a little bit of time, but still, $17, great wine. So with an A-A, I'm thinking this is Old World. I don't know, but I'm thinking it is. 2019 Chateau. I'm going to butcher this, guys. Jalousie Beaulieu, Bordeaux Superior. I know I'm Jalousie Beaulieu, Bordeaux Superior. This rolls in at $15, guys. $15. That's crazy. Of course, we put the big sticker on here. James Suckling gave it 92 points. I'm giving it an A-. A. That's a ringer right there for that amount of money. Just crazy good for $15. So, in first place with a straight up A, I thought this was a great wine, good balance, good integration. It had the fruit, but it was all, had good structure as well. With an A, thought it was New World. 2021 Guardian, confidential source, Merlot. This rolls at $38 as well. So Janik and Guardian, the same price. And this 2021 Columbia Valley, Washington, Guardian Cellars. Good for them. Great lineup. I mean, they were all great wines. I mean, we have B, B+, A minus A, A. I mean, solid wines, all very good. 2 from Washington State. And 2 from Bordeaux. There we go. The two great places, two of the great places for Merlot. Well, I hope you enjoyed the episode. Thanks for taking a little time out of your day. Please subscribe to my channel so you can see what's coming up. And you can, you don't have to watch them, but at least you can see what's coming up. And maybe one of them will interest you. You keep watching, and I'll keep helping you spend your wine dollars wisely.